Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I have previously tried to do TBRs and tried to get crafty with it, and maybe I'm just not giving myself enough credit and I'm really not devoting myself to it. I don't know, but I this week decided I am actually gonna have Anthony control what I read for the month. So I'm gonna have him pick them out. I am already reading 2 books right now. This one was already pre-planned, and I'm always gonna have a book pre-planned for each month because my friend Jessica and I, we do a buddy read every month. This was my pick just for the summer. It felt apt since it sounds and just the cover itself just gives such summer vibes. If you guys have read this book, let me know. I am only on, I think, chapter 7. Yeah, chapter 7, and I'm loving it so far. I've even also started annotating it. This is the first book I've actually annotated, so that's been really exciting. But yeah, I will definitely give you guys my thoughts on this book once I finish it. But because I have a tendency to ramble, I'm not going to talk too much more about the book right now. The whole purpose of this video is to get my picks for the month. So I'm actually going to have Anthony pick them. You know, I've had to get crafty with it because I don't have all these books physically. I think out of all the books that are on the list, I think I only have like 2 of them that are like I have a physical copy of. So everything else would either be like an audiobook or an ebook. So what I decided to do was get like little, I just took a piece of paper, let's just cut a couple pieces of paper, and wrote the name of each book. See if it's gonna want to focus. There we go. Wrote the name of each book on the card, and then on the back of them, I'm trying to write down little summaries so he can read what they are and then pick them. And then I think what I'm also gonna have him do is pick the order in which I read them, which I'm scared a little bit, but I did put books on here that I actually want to read, that I saw and I thought were just really interesting. So that is the plan. I'm gonna finish writing up the summaries for the last 4, and then once he's done doing what he needs to do, I'll get him to come and have him pick my reads for the month of June, which I'm excited for. We're already 4 days into June, so I'm quite late to this, but that's okay. The start of the month is always very busy for me, at least in terms of June, because my birthday is the 2nd. So we were quite busy the 2nd and the 3rd of this month. So that's why we're getting to it now, but better late than never. So yeah, I'm excited. Whatever he picks, I'm probably going to start that tonight or tomorrow because I really do need to pick this back up. Okay. Okay. Well, as I mentioned previously, we're gonna have my husband Anthony.
Yes. Hello.
Pick out the books that I'm going to read this month. I was kind of talking about how in previous months I've done like a TBR and I've tried to be creative about it, but I never finish any. I don't read all of the books on the list. Last month I had like picked out 4 books, I think, and I think I only read 2, but one of them I DNF'd, which was the 7 and a half deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle.
Oh yeah, I forgot you didn't. Yeah, you didn't finish that. You didn't really like it much.
No, but I still want to give it another go, so I might come back to it later on. It feels like it might be more of a fall read, so maybe I'll give it a go then. But as I mentioned before, I went ahead and wrote down all of the like book titles that I'm interested in reading. And then I just put descriptions on the back, which you guys would have seen. So I'm gonna pass it off to him. Now the goal is he's gonna pick 4 books for me. He's going to list them in the order that he wants me to read them in. And then just as like a little bonus thing, I want him to just kind of guess what he thinks I might rate the books.
Okay.
So yeah. Alright.
So now you're handing me this.
I'm handing it off to you.
I'm
like also...
Should I like turn around? Should this be like a secret?
No, I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna write it down so I can remember, so.
Okay. I don't want you to know.
Okay, I won't look. While he's picking, I'll just go ahead and list off some of the books that I have on the list. So, first one is Hello Stranger. I have been wanting to pick this book up for a little while. The whole premise behind it sounded really interesting. She's a painter, but she essentially she has like some kind of brain surgery, which then affects her to be able to recognize faces, which is really interesting. So that one I want to read. Powerless, I tried to pick that up at the beginning of the year, and then I ended up putting it down just because I wasn't quite sure. I just felt like I couldn't focus on the book, but everyone has been talking about it. I know there's another book that came out. I don't know if that's like the second book in a series or if it's just like a novella or what. So I do want to pick that book up at some point. And then First Light Wins. This one has been on my list for the longest time. I believe it's like a thriller, and it sounded really intriguing. Essentially, there is our main character. I don't remember what her name is at the top of my head, but she essentially is like the identity of like who she is not her actual identity, which I think is just really, really intriguing. I don't remember what else really goes down in the story based off the synopsis, but I just know that this has been a book that has been at the top of my list since I heard about it. So there's another book called Counterfeit. This one actually sounds really, really cool. So I stumbled upon this one by accident. I think I was looking on Goodreads or something like that, and I'd seen this book pop up. What really made me stop and want to like learn a little bit more about it was the cover of this book. So essentially there is a woman who's a Chinese American, and she ends up reconnecting with like her college roommate, and they end up selling like counterfeit like luxury handbags, and that just sounded really, really cool. And then I've also put another book on my list, which was called Worry. I believe the author's name was Alexandra Tanner. I've not heard anything about this book. There was nothing that was like, I had heard anything about it and was like, oh, I needed to read it. It was just another one of those where I like happened to see the cover of the book and I thought the cover was really intriguing. Hopefully I remember to put these books up as I'm talking about them, but yeah, so this book revolves around 2 sisters that basically live in New York. They end up living together. One sister is an editor who doesn't really like her job. The other sister is essentially just a freeloader. She's just living off her sister, and they are both extremely heavily involved in like social media and the internet, and I think that's such a cool topic to kind of like read about and like talk about, because as someone who had been really, really obsessed with social media, I just find that aspect in a book might be kind of interesting. So I'm excited to see that. And then there's 2 more, so I'm going to try to wrap it up because I think he might be done. So the next book is The Alchemist. I've just always wanted to read this book. So Anthony recently got that in a, why is my brain blanking?
Like a paperback?
Yeah, he recently bought that book off of World of Books. So now that we have the physical copy of it, I'm really excited to read it. Plus, it's a short book, so I feel like something that I can easily get through, and I've just heard nothing but great things about that book. If you've read it, let me know what your thoughts were. And then finally, this book Actually, I had never heard anything about it until I watched Haley Pham's video, and I've mentioned her so many times on this channel because I absolutely love her. That's where I get all my recommendations from. She is probably one of my top booktubers that I just like. No matter what she says, I know that I'm more than likely going to enjoy the books that she recommends. But that book is The Ministry of Time. I thought this book was so interesting. So there's like time travel involved. I think there's a soldier from like the 16th century. And then the first female to go to university from the 19th century. And then as well as I think he's a paramedic from the 21st century. And they're all basically I forget what the whole premise of what they're trying to do, but I know it involves something with, I want to say Spanish something, revolution or something like that. I can't even remember. Anyways, but they use time travel. They basically go through these different, like, I think it's doors or something like that. I don't know. The whole idea of it just sounds really intriguing, so I'm excited whenever I do get to pick up these books. But enough talking about the books. Let's find out what you've chosen for me to read for the month of June.
It was actually really harder than I thought. And I like
Really?
to put the descriptions on the back. My two no's, I guess I'll go over that first, were Powerless and Hello Stranger.
Okay.
They're just not like my
And
type.
romance.
Yeah. So I mean,
It
they
sounds like
sound
a
good.
heavily romance.
They
stuff.
sound good though, but just they didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
This one almost did it. It almost made the
Counterfeit
cut.
sounds so good. I will eventually read this. I'm not passing it up.
Counterfeit. This sounds really good, but there was just no space in it when I was picking my 4, so this will be outside of that. That should be number 5.
We got some good picks.
My number 1 is the same thing that you just mentioned. You have to do this
Thank
first.
you so much, because I literally was like, whatever book he picks, I'm starting that tonight, and I was hoping you're gonna pick this book.
Yeah, the minute I read The Ministry of Time, I was like, oh yeah, you got to do this one first because I want to read this one.
Okay. So let me see, The Ministry of Time. I'm just gonna write them down so I know which ones are first. And then I'm gonna put like your little star
Be
rating.
showing that to me. Gotcha, I do one of those things.
Yeah, that's
I don't know how the kids do it nowadays.
Alright, what's number 2?
First Lie Wins.
Which he kindly gifted me for my birthday. I walked in. I'll show a clip of it because I think I recorded it, but I walked in after coming home from work one day and it was just resting on the bed and I'm so excited. So first, I can't even spell. That's not how you spell first.
These two, I don't know which order I want them in, so I'm going to make the final
Decide.
decision right now. I'm going to say, let's do, take a guess. Well, no, you already know. Worry.
Oh, okay. Yay! I'm really glad you picked this one. At least you picked one of the odd ones I wasn't sure about.
Because that's the social media one.
Yeah.
And then The Alchemist.
Cool. I think that's a good one to like end
Finish,
it on.
yeah.
That's a really good choice. That was awesome. Thanks for picking them. So you got one more task.
Oh, okay.
So what do you think I'm gonna rate The Ministry of Time?
I don't know anything about the author. I don't know their book.
But I
history.
will say Haley Pham really
liked
enjoyed
it.
this book.
What did she give it?
I can't remember. It may have been a 4.5 star or something like that. She really enjoyed that book.
If you're gonna put all of those elements together, I think.
But you can either do that really well or
really bad. Yeah. I'm gonna say if she really liked it, I'll say you'll at least give it a 4.5.
Okay.
When it comes to First Lie Wins, it's one you've been wanting to read for a while.
Yeah, I'm so scared because I have my hopes high for this book.
Yeah.
But I'm scared because what if I've never read a book by this author either, so I'm just scared.
I'm going to say it's going to be a tad bit underwhelming and you're going to give it a 3.
Oh wow! All right. Let's see.
I'm going to say Worry might be your 5-star read.
I think you might be right. Will we find a 5-star read this month, guys?
The Alchemist is not directly up your alley.
Uh-huh.
I think you'll resonate with it, but not.
Do you think it's gonna be something that's gonna be hard for me to read? Like, you think
I won't
I'm
say
going to-
hard. But it's like maybe some of like the underlying message behind it and stuff. I'll say 3.5.
Okay, that's a good one. I'm wondering if the message might go over my head because sometimes. You okay?
Yeah.
What was that?
I almost died on camera.
Oh, sometimes books with like these really big like messages and stuff, I almost kind of like glaze over.
I don't even think it's that the message is like this hidden thing. I think it's more so how it's told
Okay.
might catch you, but I know you'll like it. I just don't know. I'm just not clear on where you rate it.
I guess I'm just more so concerned that it's going to be a book, even though it's small, and I think, oh, it's going to be an easy read, that one is going to be harder for me to want to pick up and continue to read. That's what I think I'm concerned about, but everybody says that this book is really good.
It is very good.
And like, as a reader, I just feel like it's one of those books that you have to read at least once in your life.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's why I bought it, to have it, because I'm eventually going to read it again.
And I really like how those pages feel. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited you picked these books. I'm most excited. I had a feeling you were going to pick The Alchemist and First Light Winds, mostly because you just bought First Light Winds, and then The Alchemist, I had said I wanted to read that.
It's the only one out of the group that I've
read, yeah. And then I was really, like, when I was saying earlier, I was like, whatever book he picks first, I'm going to read tonight. The book that I envisioned was The Ministry of Time. Like, I really envisioned that book, so I'm so excited to read this book. And Worry was definitely one of those that was at the top of my list because it just sounded really interesting. The whole social media aspect of it, and it's around two sisters. I don't personally have a sister, but I know the sister dynamic can sometimes be difficult. So I'm wondering how, the situation with the sister that doesn't really care for her job and the other sister that's freeloading off of her, mixed in with social media, how that's going to kind of affect their relationship and this living dynamic that they have going on. So I am excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one too.
Now, I have another question. Any books on this list that you're particularly wanting to read besides The Ministry of Time?
Worry.
Worry?
Yeah. And potentially this counterfeit one.
Yes.
Oh, this first line? I think if I'm picking one or two, it would be Worry and Ministry of Time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But all of these I would read. I don't think there's none that I wouldn't.
I don't think you would read
Powerless. I would. I'm not against it.
I don't know if you would. I don't know if that's your... Because I did start that book. I don't know if it's your kind of thing. What was that book that I had you read?
You never had me read anything.
Yeah, remember way back when? That one book and you were like, oh my god. Because of like the romance aspect or whatever?
It wasn't the romance act, the disasters.
Yeah. Or was it just...
I didn't like the writing, and I just didn't like anything really about it. Yeah. But it's a young, like a
it was
teen,
a young adult.
Yeah, it just didn't resonate with me. But it's not that it was a bad book.
Yeah, I'm eager to read these books. I'm looking forward to it. So I appreciate you picking, and hopefully I can get through all of these books this month, but I think I can. I think I can because these are all books that I do really want to read. So, yeah. Anyways, I will catch you guys in another video soon, and I will keep you updated on how the reading is actually going. Just know tonight we're starting not for silence, the Ministry of Time. Bye.